Hello, this is Skyfire here, bringing you another Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battle video. And this battle is against Joey from the Pokemon Wi-Fi room. And he came in under a random name, but if you look at his team, like, I don't believe this. I was really animated at how his team was. And I was like, how in the world am I supposed to win against this? I mean, just looking at the team, I was like, oh my goodness. 3 Ubers and 3 just ridiculous. I'm like, I couldn't even say what I was going to say. But I just went in and played like it was. The start offs, as you can see, were Stanwix, that's my Whimsicott, and his Blissey. I went for the substitute to start because I figured he was going to use something like Toxic or something like that. Then I went in for the Leafy, and it goes for Toxic Spikes. What kind of a Blissey is this? This is one strange Blissey. I'm surprised I didn't see any stealth rocks or something like that. I don't know. Toxic Spikes and Toxic? I don't know. It must be. But anyways, I went for the Stun Spore afterwards. And look at it. It just couldn't even move. So I'm like, sweet. So I'm just whittling down HP off the Blissey. And I decided to go for the Cotton Guard. Because I really didn't know what this Blissey is going to be holding. But unfortunately, it could move, so I'm just willing to lay more HP while I'm just standing there with a sub. So I went in for the Cotton Guard yet again. And I'm like, sweet. So it goes for another round of Toxic Spikes. I'm like, oh man. That means whatever Pokemon comes in afterwards is going to get automatic Toxic. That was what I really didn't need. So I went for another Cotton Guard. I already know I'm already at +6, so it's like it was just a random move. But it goes for Software. I'm like, this is gonna be a Star Wars. This keeps up because I think that was all the thing between Stanwix and Blissey was a little Star Wars. Which although right now, Stanwix was ahead, but the problem about it was that I actually switched, and that's usually a bad idea for me because I don't like switching. This was a double switch, and he brings in his Darkrai as I switch into my Airbender, my Xatu, and it really flocks there because he goes for Thunderbolt and takes down the Xatu, and I'm like, great, that was a bad move there. So I decided to bring back my Stanwix, which is another bad move because now it's Toxic. So this was a double flop. So anyways, he switches out Rings and Shuckle. I really didn't believe this team at all. But in any case, I went for the Stun Spore and got it paralyzed, and I'm getting hit by poison. So I now go for a sub. This begins to be very funny. It goes for withdrawal. I'm like, I'm not really worried because I'm not gonna do any moves that's gonna get your defense. Instead, I'm gonna do it this way. I am gonna go for a Leafy. And that Leafy will be very important later on, and you'll see why. So anyways, this is another Star Wars, and this time Stanwix is going to get Shuckle. But unfortunately, Shuckle wins this one because even though I'm using defense moves, it's using certain moves. Well, I use a Cotton Guard on that one, and he's paralyzed. Even though I'm leech-seeing the Shuckle, the problem about it is I'm getting hurt by toxic damage, which makes things really bad. So I'm down to 79 HP, and I'm looking like, how in the world this is gonna work? It will work, but it won't work at the same time, not with Stanwix. So anyway, it's doing more withdrawal to raise its defense, but the funny part about it is it's not really gonna work too often, mainly because of the fact that its HP is being whittled down to where one hit will probably KO it anyway. But anyways, I go for another cotton card knowing that everything else is going to be useless, and I'm using Stanwick's Death Bottle while it goes for a withdrawal. It's being whittled down with this Leech Seed, but unfortunately I deal with the toxic damage, and unfortunately Stanwick's faded, so I'm like in a triple whammy right now, because the Airbender gone, Stanwick's gone from toxic, and I got Henry Ruff now being toxic. The good thing about Henry Ruff is Henry Ruff gets to set up with Dragon Dance like he just did, and Parallax, and Shuckle couldn't move anyway, so that was a Parallax, that's what I was trying to say. So more Leech Seed damage, and here comes Toxic. So I'm just like, you know what, I can't really do anything against that Shuckle. I'm not even gonna worry. Yeah, I was a little worried. I saw that explosion, like, what? Explosion, really? That only took, like, not even 40 or 50 points of damage. So, he brings in Mewtwo. Now, this was timing better on my part, because now I just sit up, and that means I can be fast in the Hapsy things, which brings me to the point that I did a crunch and one hit KO the Mewtwo, so that's one threat down. And here comes the Moxie. This is what I like about Henry Ruff. It's that good old Moxie. So with that, he brings in Rayquaza. I'm like, okay, I'm not really glad to worry about it. That was until he did extreme speed. I'm like, great. It went down to 21 HP, but that was just what I needed. I at least got a double KO on this, because I'm gonna one-hit KO Rayquaza with the Ice Punch. The problem about it is that even though Henry gets more Moxie, like, great, I am going to end up KOing myself because of the toxic damage, so that's Henry Ruff gone. Now, he brings in Darkrai. I randomly brings in my Crozier, that's my Qwilfish, and I at least got the poison spikes also. No more toxic spikes for anybody else, but I had to deal with Darkrai. Everything comes down to Darkrai. There's Dark Void, so I'm like, great. Just for a sec, great. And unfortunately, it does the Dream Eater, which pretty much puts Crozier as automatic Death Spider, because it's going to be super effective. So down goes Crozier, and I'm like, this is going to be it for me. Meyers was probably my last chance to win this game, and the Dark Void misses. That put Meyers in the best position ever, because I randomly went for a Shell Smash, and that put Meyers in probably the best positioning ever, because he has now +2 in attack, and that waterfall stab +2 and all that attack puts Darkrai straight down, and that was the biggest threat that I needed out of me, and I was glad. So Blissey comes in and also gets hit by a waterfall. I'm still ranting about this team. I'm still ranting about Blissey, Darkrai, Mewtwo, Rayquaza, Shuckle, and oh, there's one more. Once that Blissey comes, there happened to be Tyranitar. And you know, with the team that I had, you would think I'd probably go down 6-0 or 5-0 or something like that. I'm shocked to myself. Meyers comes in and just takes over. That waterfall on Tyranitar will one-hit KO it, and that is pretty much good game to Joy, and I am just shocked at how I won this game. I am just very, very shocked. Anyways, Skyfire saying rate, comment, subscribe. Have a nice day and see you next time.